Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Color with Donna in Coloritaville. In today's video, where I will be taking a look at the Crayola Signature Blend and Shade Colored Pencils. It is the 50 set. I received these as a gift from a subscriber who wanted me to take a closer look at them and see what I thought, because she has been using these and has been very impressed with them and wanted me to take a look. So, disclaimer for all of you, as you know, I, first of all, am not a tutorial channel. And second of all, I'm not even very good with colored pencils. It's still a very new medium to me. I have owned sets of colored pencils since my coloring journey began many years ago, but I have just recently started actually using them. So yeah, so I'm really excited to take a look at these. They do come in a tin case, and it's got a very beautiful picture here on the tin, and the lid does remove from the tin to expose the pencils. You have a little sheet here, and I was kind of thinking this could probably, if you wanted to, this could probably be used behind your pencil colorings, because you always kind of need to have something behind that, because as you're bearing down with your pencils, it will transfer ink from the page behind. It'll transfer that up and kind of smear it, and if it's a double-sided, it can push the ink from this side down onto another image. So I just kind of thought that, you might be able to use that for that purpose. It's kind of flimsy and everything, but I mean, I think it would work for that if you just wanted to utilize everything that you received. Now, the one thing I did notice when I opened the box was that I think a much smaller box could have been used. You have all of this blank space here on top, and on the bottom. So a case much smaller could have definitely been used. So there's a little bit of wasted space there. Upon first inspection, what I did notice is that there are color names on each of the pencils. There is no number, but there are names. But of course, say if you look at this lemon yellow, it has lemon yellow in three different languages. So as this pencil is sharpened and you get up to, into here, you're going to be covering up the English name. Just being English and from America, I would have preferred just to have had English and just up here, or at least up here at this end, been the one in English. But that was really all I noticed about that. I did roll my pencils. I do this to kind of inspect my pencils when I receive them. The majority of the pencils do look okay. There is one, which one? This one, the raspberry. If you notice when it's sharpened, and I don't know how many of you guys actually know to do this, or that you can do this, but to look at your cores to make sure your cores are okay, you can kind of turn your pencil. You see how this is way up here, the wood, and it goes way down to here. That tells me that this lead in this particular pencil is not centered. So that's the only one I saw on the first row that was like that. And that happens a lot. Even in our more expensive pencils, it can happen. Most of the others seem... Oh, wait. Let me make sure on this one, because I can't tell. Oh, no, that's just a really light lead. I thought it was all the way up at the top there for a minute. I guess you guys really can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, I mean, the rest of them do look okay. So upon first inspection, that's the only pencil that really jumps out with. The black is a little off-centered, but not by much. And it looks like the slate's kind of off-centered too. But other than that, they look fairly nice. Now, this, I'm telling you, this box is just not going to work for storage. Do you see this? This is how it actually arrived. It was already kind of broken on both ends. So I definitely would not be using this box for storage purposes or things like that. But I mean, the pencils are very pretty. They have closed caps. They have the names. You have color codes at the top. Of course, they're not really great matches for the colors of the cores. But you know, I'm going to tell you, with my pencils, I don't go off of this or the barrel color. I go off of the lead color, and I don't even swatch my pencils anymore. I used to swatch everything, but as of late, I have not even swatched any kind of pencils. I just kind of look at the lead color, because generally whatever that lead color is, that is going to be your most saturated color that you can get from that. So yeah, so that's my first impressions just off the box. And they claim that these are creamy soft core pencils. They say that it will work on both light and dark colors, which tells me it should be very pigmented if it is supposed to show up on a dark colored page. And I'm going to be honest, right offhand, I don't have anything close by that is dark paper. I should have pulled that over. But I wanted to kind of compare these a little bit. First of all, I wanted to use them a little, and then I wanted to compare them to a couple other brands. I wanted to be a very, very, very fair. I do not expect Crayola to hold up against Prisma or to hold up against Polychromos, because, well, those are artist grade pencils, and, well, Crayola's not. Okay. Even what they call their artist pencils are not really. They're definitely better than regular Crayola, and I don't have any Crayola pencils other than these. But even if I did, I would not compare them, because these better be better, you know what I mean, than just a regular Crayola pencil. But I did want to do some comparisons. So what I did pull out that I could look at was my Faber-Castell Gold Fabers, because those are more of a student grade pencil. And I would think that these should be considered more student grade, where maybe your original Crayolas would be like, if you're familiar with Faber-Castell, would be the red box, which is more for children and general use. The, I believe, blue box, which is the Gold Fabers, which is your student grades, and then the green box, which is your artist grades. So I would kind of think regular Crayola and this being like the second in that student grade. So I did pull out some Gold Fabers. I also pulled out my Blick, because I've used Blick, and Blick, in my opinion, is not as good as Prisma or Polychromos, but it's still a good pencil, don't get me wrong. So I thought that might be a good thing, a good pencil to maybe compare with. And then I pulled out my Fila's, which is also just a budget pencil. And my thought in that was that I wanted to just lay some of this down, see what happens, and maybe hopefully we'll have time to compare it to a couple other brands, so you guys can get my my full impressions and everything on these. And this is going to be impressions coming from a beginner, by far not a professional pencil colorist, not even a professional colorist, and not even someone who's really good with pencils. Okay, pencils are not my forte. I hope they will become something that I'm able to work a lot more with in the future, but right now I'm still a beginner. Okay, so I did grab my coloring book, Words of Love to Color By, and this is by Early Fowler. It is a very pretty book, especially with the Valentine's Day season being close upon us. I will leave a link in the description to the pencils, as well as to this coloring book that you can find it on Amazon. If you're interested, it's a great little book. And I'm just going to work just on this, just because it is a wallpaper type image, and I can say do one flower with Crayola and another flower with Blick, and maybe even another flower with Goldfaber, and so on and so forth, Fila. It's really time dependent. We're already at 10 minutes and I'm still just running my mouth. So I'm going to test my little theory that I had about this paper thing. And I'm just going to put it back here behind my image because it's really important, even with colored pencils, to keep something behind. And I haven't even looked at these colors yet. So I don't have anything truly planned. And I do expect I'm going to have to sharpen these pencils somewhat before using them. Let me start with, what is this? This is raspberry. And I'm going to just put a light sharpen, if I can get my sharpener to turn correctly, onto the pencil. And yes, so this is the raspberry that I was saying was not perfectly centered, or not even truly. It seems to be way off to me. But okay, so let's just come in and take a look at this. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add, I'm going to go around the darker parts first that I want to be a little darker on the flower. Okay, I can say that I have used Crayola pencils in the past, and I will say that these definitely lay down pigment much better than the original Crayola. They do seem much more pigmented. At least you're getting a better payoff. I'm not using an extremely light hand, maybe a medium pressure, not really hard pressure. It's not a pressure that I would use if I were trying to, say, burnish, but it's not extremely light. And this is what I'm getting out of this. So, yeah. All right, now I'm going to come in a lot lighter here. Just to add a little bit of that. Okay, so far so good. And then let's go in with, I'm just going to go right next door to Ruby Red. Let me put a little bit of a point onto this because sometimes it's a little waxy when you get brand new pencils. They'll be a little waxy and you just have to kind of knock that wax off of it just a little bit. I hope this isn't too dark still. Okay, now I can definitely see the color difference. Okay, and I'm just going to go back in to here. Okay, there's some decent payoff here. And this is really smooth paper, so I'm not having to like fight a tooth or anything. So it is working well on this really smooth paper. And it's going down rather nicely. And let me see what their white does, because I do like to kind of highlight with white some. And I just want to kind of try this white because Prismacolor white has become my absolute favorite pencil in the world. So we'll see what a Crayola white does. Okay, I'm actually fairly impressed with a Crayola white pencil. I mean, it's not quite as, I don't think it's quite as pigmented as Prismacolor white. Well, I can tell you it's not. But it is working very good as that. Yeah, because I've told you guys that sometimes I just kind of like to blend things out even with white. That, yeah, it lightens things up and everything, but I do kind of like the look I can achieve with it. So yeah, it works. Okay, so look at that. Not bad, Crayola. Yeah, I'm actually really impressed with that. That's really nice. Okay. Way to go, Crayola. All right. So just so you get an idea of the color range that we're looking at, you have mahogany, raspberry, ruby red, red, red orange, orange, yellow orange, light orange, harvest gold, mango, goldenrod, yellow, lemon yellow, lime green, yellow green, spring green, jade green, green, blue green, teal, robin's egg blue, green blue, turquoise, cerulean, sky blue, and that is your first tray. And then in your second tray, you have blue, light blue, navy blue, violet, purple, pale rose, orchid, maroon, mauve, magenta, pink, bubblegum, salmon, brown, light brown, peach, sand, tan, bronze yellow, dark brown, taupe, white, gray, cool gray, slate, and black. So those are your colors, just so you have an idea. And I'm going to move these out of the way because I'm going to try to pull out a different brand. I think I got a decent feel for those there. And let's compare it just for sake of it's right beside me. These are my Blick Dog Hair Don't Care. As you see, I love my puppies. All right, so these are my Blick pencils. This is just a case that I got at Hobby Lobby at pretty much at the beginning of my coloring journey. I do like open-ended pencils because you can check your cores. If you got a closed end, you pretty much have to check your core this way. But if you have a open end, you can look to check your core centers. And I do need to make sure this is sharp. This is actually called Bordeaux Red. It looks a lot like the raspberry I used. So we're just going to come in like right here, making sure you guys can still see what we're doing. And come in right here, and I'm going to pretty much attempt to do the exact same thing with the Blick pencils. And actually, this is a little darker, but it's okay. It looks a lot more raspberry. That's what I get for looking at the barrel and not paying attention to my lids. I know better. Okay, so I think the Blick was a little bit easier to lay down, if you know what I mean. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Let's come back in there. A little bit of extra. Okay, and that one was my light violet. And then let me grab the Blick Studio White. Come in with the white, just like I did on the other one. I'm going to be honest, guys. I think I like the Crayola White better than the Blick Studio White. So, see, this is just still very pale. There's not a lot of pigment, I don't think, that's coming out of this Blick Studio white, at least not for me. I do think I like the white on the Crayola better. Wow. Who would have thought that, right? But I do think the Blick Studio did lay down a little easier. In other words, I didn't put as much pressure, but Blick Studio aren't necessarily super cheap pencils. So you have to keep that in mind. Okay, so let me see. I want to try my Gold Fabers. Let's see if I can match up some colors. And Gold Fabers are, okay, it looked like the color was off. Oh, this is a cream paper. Okay, there for a second I thought my lighting was bad. So I keep my Gold Fabers in this case here, which also holds my polychromos in the back. So I have my full set of Faber-Castell Gold Fabers, and then I've just got my extra polychromos, like for my 12 set, and then my polychromos further through the back. So let me see. Let's use 133, which I don't know what the name is, because that's the biggest downfall about Gold Faber is that it has a number, not a name. So this is 133, and then I think I'll go in with 125, and then I'll pull out my white in just a minute. All right, so here we go again. Let's do this again. All right, so let's do this one like right here. Okay, so yeah, the Gold Faber again lays down much like the Blick, but I don't think, yeah, there's not a huge difference. I'm actually pretty impressed so far. All right, and then let's go in with this one. Okay, and then I need my white Gold Faber, if I can find it. Okay, and here we go. And let's come in and see. I do like the Gold Faber white better than the Blick also. I'm not a fan of that white in the Blick at all. So yeah, can you tell? I really think Gold Faber and I think the Gold Faber and the Crayola performed very, very, very similar on that. So, okay, so I brought one more pencil out, and I wanted to try to test the, let me make this bigger for you guys. I wanted to test them with maybe my Fila's. Fila is a very budget-friendly pencil, and they come in about 148 colors, I believe, or is it 156, something like that. Oh, excuse me. So let's see. I need to try to match up some colors here. Okay, we'll use this one, and let's try this one. All right. Again, Fila has numbers, no names. So this is 110 and 104. And let's go in here. I want to sharpen these up. I want them all to have the best chance. I'm going to have to send a regular pencil through the sharpener. It seems to be catching a little bit. Okay. All right. So let's do this one at the top. All right. So yeah, the Fila is going down very nicely. I might have to go back and try to remember the colors I used, the exact color combo on those Crayola, because I think I want to try one more with the Crayola. The Filas do lay down really good on this paper, so bring this out just a little bit. Okay, and then let's come back in here. And as you guys know, I am a very heavy-handed colorist, so I'm trying to remind myself not to press too hard. Okay, and then I need my Fila white. There's my Fila white, because I have no idea. And I'm going to be honest, I love the Prismacolor white, and generally, if I'm using my pencils and I want a white pencil for any reason, I kind of just grab my Prismacolors. On my desk, there are currently 4 and a little nub, so I always keep Prismas around. So let's see with a Fila. I do think the Fila white is a tiny bit better than that Blick, but not by much. I'm not impressed with the Fila white at all. Of course, we're not testing white pencils today, so. All right. So there you have it, just very quickly, with all 4 of the different pencils that I pulled out. Let me go back and use the Crayola one more time. Give me a second and let me put these away. Go back to the Crayola. Does anybody remember what colors I used? I should be doing this on a live stream so you guys could talk me through that. Well, the good news is it should be the ones that are sharpened, right? So that's the raspberry, the ruby red, and the white. Okay. Raspberry, ruby red, and white. And I'm going to tell you guys, as far as feel, size-wise and everything, this is not as fat as a poly, maybe not even as fat as a Prisma, but it does feel very much like a Goldfaber in my hand. So if you're familiar at all with Goldfabers, then that is, and they even look very similar also. So, okay, yeah, I just wanted to do this one more time with this one, so I'll have a good comparison. Okay, so yes, this lays down just as good as the Fila. And honestly, I think about as good as the Blick. You know, to be totally honest. And it's pretty on par with a Goldfaber. Wow. Crayola, Crayola. Okay, now on this one, for whatever reason, I'm not liking the white quite as much as I did earlier. Still not bad. Still not bad. I mean, definitely not Prismacolor white, but I've never met a white that was, so. All right, guys, I'm going to tell you what. I love these pencils. Okay, I did not expect to tell you guys that I love these pencils. Here's what I expected to happen, and this is why I wanted you guys to get first impressions. I expected to come in here and tell you, yeah, save your money. That is really what I wanted to come in here and tell you guys. I didn't want to like these pencils. So, as you could tell from the very beginning, I was looking for any fault that I could find, looking at the pencils, checking the pencils, things like that. But I'm actually very impressed. Now, I will say this, okay? I think the 50 set of these signature blends are currently going for about 30, somewhere between like $30 and $35 currently on Amazon. I'm not sure how the prices fluctuate on these, but that's just for 50 pencils. So I will tell you that for about that price, maybe a little more, maybe the $40 range, $45 range, you could get the Fila's, which has 156. There are other budget-friendly pencils out there that have those, but these are very creamy as advertised. They're definitely not a Prisma. They cannot stand up to a Prisma. I'll tell you right now, Prisma would blow these out of the water. But for what they are, I think they're very, very nice, and I'm very impressed. What I would like to tell Crayola is give us more colors. 50 is just not enough. 72, I'd be happy. I believe you can generally work pretty well within a 72. Sometimes you struggle a little bit with 50. The Gold Fabers, I believe, do come in 72 colors, or is it 48? It may just be 48. I'm not sure. So yeah. So at any rate, thank you guys for showing up. I really do like these pencils. They are got a thumbs up for from Donna. I don't believe these can be bought individually, so you will be rebuying the set the entire, every time, but they do perform very well. 2 thumbs up, to be honest. I was absolutely blown away. I'm having a hard time believing that these are Crayola pencils. I really am. So there will be links down in the description below to this beautiful book, as well as to the great Crayola pencils. I will also leave links to Goldfaber as well as Fila, and also a link over to Blick's in case you're interested in any of those pencils also. And I'll give you guys a little bit of a better look at the book before we leave, because I believe this is the first thing I've ever started coloring in this book. So there's nothing colored in it, but it is a very cute book to consider since we are entering into the Valentine's Day season. Very, very cute little images. So if I can find this book on Amazon, I will link it also. Pretty, pretty. I do love it. And so what I'm going to try to challenge myself to do is to complete this page with these Crayola signature pencils and tune in to my finished coloring pages for the month video to see if I got it done and what it turned out to look like. So thank you guys so much. Please subscribe to the channel and be sure to ring the bell to be notified of all my future uploads. Check the description for links that was mentioned in the video, as well as to all links with anything Color Readaville related. And I will see you guys in my next video. Until then, peace, love, and happy coloring. Bye, guys. Okay, guys, so here's an update to my coloring with the Crayola blend and shade pencils that are right here. I wanted to do an update. This is 100% uncensored, unfiltered, no makeup, no fancy hair, no anything, straight from my bedroom slash art studio. So I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please let me know what your opinions are in the comments down below. But I just wanted to do a little update after I finished. on my picture that I was working on yesterday. So I will give you my thoughts and my feelings and all of those kinds of things coming up right now. Be sure to let me know. All right, guys. So here we are, and this is the finished picture, other than a little bit of a background that I did color with the Crayola blend and shade pencils. And I think it did an okay job. I'm going to be quite honest with you guys, but I did want to share one thing that I did notice that happened. So, in full disclosure, because as of yesterday, I told you guys when I made the video, and I intended to release it as it was. But what I told you guys is I really wanted to love them, and I really wanted to hate them, but I do love them. So I wanted to throw this little thing into there. Yeah, take a look at this. Do you see what I see? This pencil kept breaking on me. I do have the Dow 133, which I have not been having any problems whatsoever with the breakage from, but I had a lot of breakage in these pencils here, which was the two greens, and this one was a terrible amount of breakage. And I did have a little bit of breakage in this one and also this one as I went along. So I did want to share that with you guys. I did a lot of thinking overnight about these pencils, and here is my current thought. I think they're great. I think they lay down wonderful pigment. I think they make a beautiful page. But I will say this, for the price that is currently being charged for the 50 count of these, which I looked at Amazon yesterday and it was more like $35, $36. For about that same price, you can purchase the Faber-Castell Gold Fabers, which is listed in the link down below. So I might actually, if I were you, go with the Gold Fabers, because the Gold Fabers can be purchased open stock and these cannot. So that is my thought on that. And also, for about, as of yesterday, $29, you can get 152 Filas, which do lay down similar. They do lay down a lot of pigment. So I'm going to be honest. I think during our session yesterday, I felt that these worked very similar to the Faber-Castell Gold Fabers. So what I would suggest is you have 50 here, you have 48 in the Gold Fabers. Links are in the description. For about the same price, you can get those Gold Fabers. So if you are just looking for something that, sorry guys, that is a smaller set, I might look at the Gold Fabers instead. And links are down below. And of course, you can get the others. I'm not saying these are bad pencils. Don't get me wrong. I truly did enjoy these, but there was a lot of breakage going on, and that concerns me since you cannot buy these open stock. And I absolutely am 100% about what? Full transparency. So I'm just going to place this little snippet of a video inside of the other video there at the end. I apologize for Riley. He is going nutty on me today, but I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video.